back again to the lake for another after work hunt. I just uploaded video number 122 last night, and I still have another one that's not fully edited yet, but I couldn't stay away after the find that I had in my last video, that dagger blade. I need to see if there's anything else hiding down here. In my last video, the water was about here, I think. It's gone down a lot. I really want it to go down a lot more though, about the same again, out into the lake. That's where I found the dagger that's in my intro. Quite close to where I found that other dagger blade, actually. Gosh, it's amazing how quickly conditions change here. Look at the bottom. It's covered in this like silty stuff. It's thick as well, thick. Where the hell has this all come from? The sand is like way down. This might be a challenge out here tonight, but I'll give it a look anyway. No, conditions are quite bad out here today. These small ripples aren't helping things either, seeing down. I found this flake, half a flake I should say, from a blade core, and some lovely dark material. You can see some blade negatives running down there. Yeah, but I thought I'd get my phone out to do a reveal on this one down here. It looks, I mean, it's shining bright on the screen. It really looks transverse shape. So I thought I'd best do a reveal. Yes, I believe that is a transverse. Yeah, definitely. There's some steps at this end here, closest to the camera. It's really not the prettiest in the world. There, I think you can see the retouch a bit better. But an arrowhead, and I even did a reveal. It does have a loose chisel edge, does it? Maybe it doesn't. It does go to a point though. That is a strange one. I'll let it dry as usual and show you again. A funky arrowhead. That was a complete fluke though. There's really not many flakes visible. I've pushed a lot of them down into the sand now. Oh, the sun has just come out ready for me to start filming this clip. Just found this nice bladelet. It's odd because it has a few perpendicular removals up at the proximal end. Lovely bladelet though, from the ventral. Thought that was worth a look. Nice bladelet. Lovely stuff. No, it's not easy over here either. There's the wind is actually sending ripples through the water here as well. What's this? This could be a transverse as well. No, I just saw this edge poking up. But no, there's also a lot of this silty plant material on the bottom down here as well. What's this? Oh, wow. That's a strange blade. I have made it down to the main hotspot here. Just seen this nice blade. I wonder if this is one that I showed in a previous video. I don't think it is actually, it's a bit smaller. Modern truncation at the end. You can see it breaks patina and goes like a more bluey grey colour there. If that was the same patina, that would look exactly the same as if it was contemporary work. And you can see that this bit of scarring up here is brown, so that's contemporary. Odd. There's lots of flakes around. It's just picking out the good ones. There's these leaves as well. They keep on tricking me. Well, really not what I expected. But there might be some precious metal down here. What's this made of? Is this a ring or is it just rubbish? It is a ring. Oh, it says Gunilla in there. That's a name. Swedish name. I wonder if that's gold. Hang on a second. Could it be low carat gold? It's very strange up here, almost melted. Huh. I'll check for some hallmarks and show you again. It might be gold. That would be something. Unbelievably, this is gold. I think you can see just above my thumb there, 18 carat. A sodding gold ring at the main river hotspot. That is ridiculous. It really looks melted up here, that's very odd. A gold ring. What the heck? That is a first. Poor Gunilla lost her ring. And now it's mine. No, it really is slim pickings down here tonight, unfortunately. I did find this little core though, so I thought I'd show you. It's not anywhere near as pretty as some that I do find, like the ones from the swamp field. But I thought it was cute enough to take a quick look. Striking platform there with a negative scar. And I wanted to show you this flake as well down here, just because of the colour and the material. What a material. It's so reddish. It's just a flake. But imagine something, you know, good in this stuff. And that would be something. Well, I've got all of this gravel in front of me to check to about that rock. So hopefully there's something good hiding in here. There's some lovely facets down there, bladelet negatives. That's the base of the core, I guess, so it's a flake that's been struck this way. From the base of the core up. I wonder why. But it's a lovely colour. And just some really nice blade negatives. Love that patina. Brown, blue, white, orange. Yeah, a fun find. Nice to see. But I am feeling a little bit disheartened about tonight. I had very high hopes for the other side of the river. And I'm almost at the end of this gravel here. I almost forgot to show you that transverse dried out. There, the retouch is visible. Harder to see on this side, but it is there, I promise. Yeah, I'll go and put this in over the other side of the river and I'll be back again. I'm down here by these sticks that poke out of the water in an unusual way. I found this one, I let out a sigh when I found this. It's some kind of core. It looks like a bladelet core, but it's actually a section of what would have been an amazingly beautiful, patinated in these colours, polished axe. That's grinding there. You can see that one of the flake scars was just that little bit too deep to be ground away. A couple more there. I think that's more of a more recent one. I won't say modern. Let's see if we can see the polish. It's difficult to see it. That would have been such a pretty axe. There you can see the profile. Side edge there. Oops. Yeah, and then turned into a what looks, you know, like a bladelet core, but they weren't really making bladelets in the Neolithic. Oh, if only that was a full axe, my gosh. No, look at the water down here, it's so bad. Looks like weak tea. It's this this layer of white clay. I've mentioned it in previous videos. When this starts getting you know, eroded and the water isn't getting pushed in the right direction. It just turns the water so milky. But I'm walking the edge of it and you never know. Did find that polished axe flake. Oh my gosh, this thing caught my eye. Oh, it looked just like a polished axe from a distance. No, I'm on my way back now. It's very difficult out here. The water's just not even worth looking in. So I'm out on the dry. Maybe something will show up, but I'll be surprised. I see a couple of poachers on the beach. And I'm going to set Ziggy on them. You ready, Zig? Go on. Who is it? Good boy. No, just kidding. It's my buddy Michael and Hugo. I mean, I say I'm just kidding. They are poachers, really. Bit of a strange scraper here, maybe, or that could just be core prep. I don't know. Those removals seem a bit more than core prep at this proximal end. Tricky one. It's very rolled. Now I'm here down at the Waterworks beach in hopes of a pitted ware. Michael and Hugo said they were coming down, so I thought I'd come and join them briefly. Yeah, you never know. Just found this piece of bone. Seems to have some cut marks on it, maybe from butchery, up along here at the top. Could well be. There in the middle of the screen, I think you can see, and down to here as well, along this ridge. Some cut marks. That could be from prehistoric butchery, maybe predation, but I think there's a good chance that's from a flint knife cutting the meat away from this scapula of probably a deer. Very interesting stuff. Nothing else much to report, sadly, so I'll see you at the next hunt, I guess, unless anything else miraculous pops up. Another Sunday morning down here at the lake, south side of the river again. I was hoping that the water might have been cleared off because down to my left here it's a lot better. But out where I'd like to get to, where I found that piece of EBA dagger, is still extremely milky. You can kind of see on the screen. Never mind, I mean, I only came down here to check it, to be honest, and I didn't have high hopes until I got over to the bit where I found all those blades and other bits. I might go around there and have a quick wander. It's a bit windy over there though compared to here, but yeah, yesterday I went to Peter Viking's place. We did some napping. I thought his name was pronounced Viking because it's with a W. But another friend of mine that was there, Daniel, he told me that you pronounce it Viking. But no, I actually learnt to do a bit of napping yesterday. Napped my first ever blades. Gosh, it was difficult to begin with. I really struggled for a while. Gave up on blades and made a few scrapers and, you know, other simple things on some of the flakes that I'd done during some core prep work. But then after a few minutes tuition with Peter, the blades started to come off, and I have to say it was extremely satisfying to see them popping off. Indirect napping with a moose antler punch and a boxwood billet. yeah, there was a good group of people there, a couple of archaeology students and a couple of archaeologists, or at least an archaeologist and her husband maybe, and her kids. And another guy, Faunteed's World, I think is his Instagram. He was an incredible small pressure flaker. He made a lovely hollow base with another kind of pointy triangle type point. I'll get some photos of those from Daniel because he gave them to Daniel very kindly. But yeah, no, it was a super interesting day, and obviously Peter had put a load of his napping out on display as well. There was a huge, huge flaked axe, ceremonial, 2 huge ones, but one of them was ridiculous, and some lovely material that he'd pressure flaked into points and knives and other stuff. And lastly, Daniel Dancini. I finally met Daniel, and he gave me some lovely pieces as well as a gift. 2 really nice axes, one in a kind of English style almost, with a kind of pointed butt end, and then a more classic small Scandinavian style square axe, which is beautiful. I kind of feel like grinding that, honestly. I wouldn't mind trying a bit of grinding on that one. And yeah, loads of other bits and bobs. A huge box full of blades that I could work on the day if I wished, and a nice pitted wear point and a brom tanged point, and a couple of nice flake axes. Finally met the guy, so that was really nice. But no, yeah, super fun to go and, learn how to make these blades that I'm finding all the time. My gosh, there's some deep holes out here. I'd lose my entire leg down that. Bye. Gosh, there's a lot of birds here. Cormorants, geese, ducks. I've come to another area of the lake here today. That's the main river hotspot, Sandy Spit and all that stuff over there. But I come and check this beach at least once a season, because it does throw up the occasional find. In my early days of hunting around these parts, I found my first adze and my first nice big core up at the edge of the beach there where the sand goes a bit lighter. I'll head over there in a minute, but for now I'm just going to walk around on the mud, see if there's anything random just lying around. There's been some pigs around, I see. Wonder if they've dug up anything for me. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange place this. I don't think this gravel here moves all that much, if at all. First decent flake, not the first piece of flint. It's like a grainy chert. This was the face that was down, and look how dirty the top is. It's absolutely covered in this white calcification kind of stuff. So that's not moved for many years down there. Similarly with this piece of flint here, it's a messy core. One side is just so dirty. Just this removal here caught my eye. Very hard to spot the flint here because it's all the same colour as the other rocks, all this white, except this one. And then I saw this here actually as I was just bending down. So let's pull this out first. Ooh. Is that retouched? If it is, I'll be surprised. No. Yeah, a blade. Not the straightest, about as good as I was napping at Peter's, but let's take a look at this one together. I'm sure it's just a flake and nothing exciting. I thought I'd have a look. It's just a big core rejuvenation flake, I guess. That's the... Under here somewhere is a ventral side, so it's been facing this way for a long time, and I guess the water's flipped it over quite recently, but I would have never have known that was flint if it was up this way. Shocking. There's actually a clean piece of flint down here. Looks like a chunky prismatic blade section, although I don't think it's prismatic now I'm pulling it. Yeah, just a big old blade chunk. Someone's having some fun blasting away over at the military range today. I have found a few more flakes. And this thing down here, do you see it? Do you see it now? A blade. It looks like a decent blade. Doesn't look Conga Mossa. I wonder if it's bi-directionally napped. Gosh, it's dirty. I'll take this to the water and see if I can't clean some of this off. It's ridiculous, the level of this calcium stuff. Lime scale, or whatever it is. I'm going to wait to show you that blade. It's on the rock there. Because if I try and get to the water down there, I'm going to sink in the mud terribly. But I just spotted this down here. In fact, now I've just spotted this one. That's flint. And this is big as well. I was going to do a reveal on the other one because it really started to feel like it was a lump. That is just a messy core. Very messy lump of flint. There's a flake down here as well, which I've also spotted. Small flake. But it was this one. This one seems to have a bit of work. And there was a bit of resistance, but not much. I mean, it could still be a scraper, I guess. I hope it is something and not just a shard. It's just a lump of flint, but it's lovely material. Struck off that way, missing the proximal end to a degree. Never mind. Seems a bit of a hot spot around here though. I hadn't got much further along. I spotted this flake. Really strikes me as Neolithic work, this site in general. I mean, I found some Neolithic scrapers here, which kind of helps, but there is Mesolithic here as well, and I spotted this core, which is why I got my phone out. I think that, maybe that's not Cortex. Yeah, a small core. I was hoping that it would have some nice blade negatives around it. Cool to see though still. Main striking platform up here, I guess. Actually, I think the platform's been removed, at least this edge here. Yep, fun to see. A couple of flakes. Yoink. I'm almost at the exit of the beach here, and I just popped this out of the sand. It was just that top bit there showing. I think it might have some nice bladelet removals down this face here. This will be a decent find if it does. I think I see some hiding. Not too bad. Yeah, some Mesolithic blade work. That's fun to see. There might be something hiding under there. No, I don't think so, to be honest. Yeah, not the best bladelet napping in the world, but still better than nothing. That's a piece of shell. There was a little flake here that I saw. That is just a shard. We're almost at the spot to clean this other blade now, and then I'll go and pop it back. And then we'll head over to the main hotspots. Here's that blade cleaned off. Quite surprised how easily all that white stuff came off, honestly. It was struck in that direction, and this scar and this one both come from the distal. So that potentially is a UP blade, which is quite fun. Yeah, lots of Neolithic scrapers have come out of there, as I've said. I think you can see that the ripples are going in that direction on these two strikes. A fun find, a bit of UP. I'm going to put this back and then I'm going to head over to the other spots. I've had enough here now. That was cool though, very cool to see. Right, I'm back on the south side of the river now at the main hotspots. The first thing I pulled out of the water was this relatively large chunk of prehistoric pottery. Quite wide. It has a bit of a depression in there that's maybe full of a bit of sand. Could this be pitted ware, I wonder? I think it probably is. Really coarse temper up there. It looks almost like crushed quartz. More pot. One of the biggest chunks I've found, honestly. That's 4, I think. The others were more like down there, the other 3. No, that is cool though. Very cool to see. I might just see if I can scrape out the muck from in that hole to get a better look at that. But I guess that's a pit from a pitted ware vessel. I also flipped this one over. Big chunk of flint that I hadn't seen before. It was up this way. I guess I just thought it was a normal rock. But now the water's that bit lower, and this one, I can see that it was flint and not just any old stone. Interesting stuff. I've just quickly scraped out that little pit area, and that has to be, no? Definitely an intentional bit of decoration on there. Really feels like the rim again. Up here. Really cool, that. Really cool. I also found this as I was looking for something to poke that hole out with. It's a massive flint hagstone. Now this has been transported here. It's good flint, you can see a bit of damage there. Good flint, and there's no flint around here. So this has been brought here by a prehistoric man and not napped because of the hag hole, I guess. I actually saw that last season, but I thought I'd show you again. Kind of fun. Pop that down there. It's about 2 meters from where it came from. Not the end of the world. Now I hope that spot over there where that EBA dagger piece came from is huntable tonight. It was like this the last time I was here, where it was clearer down this end towards the river. Blade proximal there, and really muddy over there still. So fingers crossed for that. Yeah, the water's still muddy out here, cannot see through it. But I have just spotted, although now my muddy footprint stuff has covered it, but there was maybe a bone down here that's actually a twig. No, that was useless over there. The water's far too muddy to see down. That's local Jürgen there though, having a walk around. Nice to see him again. It's been a long time, over a year I would guess. But I'm going to have a quick look over the other side of the river and then head off. I'm getting hungry now. There's a bit of worked flint in this field. I'm just here at this Steenders, or Stone Dolmen, with Daniel. We're going to do some napping today, but I thought I'd just do this clip to say thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. I've got another one almost ready to post as well, but we're going to go and nap now, and I'll probably show you some of that in the next video. So yeah, thanks as always. See you next time.